The goal of filing a Chapter 7 bankruptcy is to receive a federal court order from a judge that's called a discharge that tells creditors to back off forever. Now, not all of your debts are dischargeable. We'll talk about those in another video. But when you file the bankruptcy, we've talked about in a previous video that an automatic stay goes into place, and it's considered a temporary injunction that tells your creditors back off, give these debtors some breathing room, don't garnish, don't seize, don't levy, don't foreclose, don't repossess. We've talked about that before. But a discharge is a permanent injunction that says, we've held this bankruptcy process open, we've looked at the debtor, examined their schedules, considered everything that law requires, and you, creditor, can no longer try to take this asset, can no longer try to garnish wages, can no longer try to get a judgment based on this debt because it is discharged forever in the bankruptcy proceeding. Now, with regard to the discharge, it's important to protect it. And the best way to protect your right to get a discharge is, first of all, when you file your bankruptcy, when you prepare your paperwork that gets uploaded with the court. We've talked about it in another video. Your petition, your schedules, your statement of financial affairs, your declarations, if you will. You need to make certain that you're accurate and that your information is as true and correct as possible. Because if you conceal an asset or don't disclose something of major import that could jeopardize the trustee's ability to determine whether or not there's something that could be asserted control over and dispersed out to your creditors based on the liquidation process of Chapter 7. Concealment of an asset or destruction of records that would allow a trustee to determine how your bankruptcy case should be administered. If you do that with the intent to hinder, delay, or defraud your creditors, then the bankruptcy trustee can request the court to deny your bankruptcy discharge altogether and to dismiss your case. Now, let's say that you obtained a discharge and the trustee discovers that there was an asset that was concealed. The trustee can go back and file a motion with the court, or a complaint with the court, I should say, to revoke your discharge. And this is very heavy stuff. It's important that you disclose, list everything on your bankruptcy paperwork that you possibly can, go back and review it, sleep on it, think about what the instructions say there. This is not a time to just kind of, well, let me just fill some stuff out. Make sure your paperwork is completely accurate because we want a bankruptcy discharge to be rock solid and final when we get it. The good news is once the discharge is entered, it usually remains in place and your creditors will usually back off.